Okay, I'm going to continue with the tabbed menu option inside of Xcode. But this time I'm going to talk about making your own icons right here. So if you were watching the last video I made, I was making a tab bar controller, and we have these icons that go along the bottom of a tabbed menu. So as you can see, let's just review again in the assets window. You can see them. So you'll see I have a B in this case with kind of a open hole, and a B that's kind of closed with so a black B, and then this one is a black area with a white B. So if we open them, and I'm going to go to them and go to them. Hopefully we can get to them here. Hold on one second. Let's close our menu here, and again they are here. So let's open them inside of Illustrator to see what they are made of, and then we will go and try and make our own similar. So you'll see I'm opening the selected version of the file first here, and then and you'll see, and we can zoom in. It doesn't have to be this small. They have a zoom option here. Okay, again, you'll see it's basically a oval rectangular, a square, basically a square with round edges, and then a B in the middle here. Okay, and that B is white. Okay, I'm not sure if it's clear. Yeah, it is. It's clear. It's not white. It's clear. So you see the actual background through there. So it's like a hole going through there. And then the next one would be the normal one, or the one that's not selected. And then again, let me zoom in on this one as well. Again, most of it, there's not much artwork to this. This white area has no substance. What I mean by that is, if you bring it into Xcode, whatever the background is will come through this area. Same with the middle there. So just keep that in mind. It's not like a solid area. I think in my last video I was making a solid area behind there, and this time I'm just going to do kind of the way they have it here, where they have just a black with the holes in them. So let's go and do that now. And again, I'm going to go and let's talk about a home button. How about that? So again, let's go and steal. It'd be great to make our own buttons, but we don't have a lot of time. Well, I guess we don't have all the time in the world because we're stuck inside, but whatever. So let's go to the nounproject.com, and maybe our first button will be a home button. Home. So we'll go and look for a home button in some of these. So again, you'll see this might work well right here. This kind of solid home shape here would probably work pretty well. Something like this, or maybe this one's quite interesting right here. Maybe I'll go with that. And so let's click on that. And again, I don't have an account here, so I'm going to kind of steal this one by using the Command Shift 4. And of course, you could use your snipping tool on a Mac, or on a Windows, I meant. But on a Mac, you use Command Shift 4, and then you draw a box around it. I'm going to draw a box around it. And then I'm going to go back to Illustrator. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. I already have Illustrator open. Let me force quit that. So let's go to our newer version of Illustrator here. Now, I don't really need to deal with the size right here. Let's not worry about it. Most important thing is we're going to make it square at the end. And I know they have different sizes that they've recommended on the website. But since it's vector, then we could probably get away with making it just a normal size. Like, I don't know. We could go back to the website. I can't remember. Hold on. Let me bring that up, and then we'll see some sizes. So here we are on the website again. This was a link that I have on the website, and again they talk about, as you can see, the recommendation is that you have a solid for one, not an open kind of thing like this, but a solid, and then a kind of a grayed out version like this for the non-selected. So selected, non-selected, And so, or you could just do solid. It's going to gray it out anyways when it's not selected. So let's just try. Again, these are kind of the suggestions, and that's sort of why I chose the one that I chose. And if we look, you'll see, you know, a target with 80 pixels by 80 pixels. And the maximum 104 pixels by 104 pixels there. I'm not really sure. It doesn't, you know, these are 3x ones. It doesn't really matter because it's going to be vector and scale to the right size anyway. So, you know, these dimensions don't really matter too much if it's going to be vector in this case. So we could just start. Let's just start with one. So I'm going to start with, what was it? 80 by 80? Geez, I was just on the website. And yeah, 80 by 80 pixels. That sounds fine to me. 80 by 80 pixels. So inside of Illustrator, if you go underneath File, New, it'll get the new window here. Over here on the right side, you'll notice that you have the option to change the from inches to pixels. So I'm going to choose in the pull-down menu pixels there, and I'm going to go with, let's just make it bigger so we can see it easier. 120. I'm going to do 120 by 120 pixels, and then that's it. So just make sure it's kind of square, and make sure the color mode is going to be in RGB and not CMYK. Right there, make sure it's RGB right there. It doesn't really matter, it's going to be kind of black and white anyways, but RGB 120 by 120, hit create, and it should make a nice blank document. I'm going to zoom out. Again, you got zoom tools, command minus zooms out, command plus zooms in, command minus, command plus, command minus, command plus. And if you hit the space bar, you get a hand that you can move the window around. So those are common things that I do in the program. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring in that bitmap or that screen grab that I've taken. It's on the desktop, so whenever you make a screen grab, it's on the desktop. So I bring it in by going under File, Place. And I'm going to choose the screen grab that I have. Should say screen grab. Well, there it is. It's a house. And then see where it says linked. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to make sure it's embedded. That doesn't really matter at this point. We're going to convert it into vector. So I'm going to hit place, and then I'm going to draw a box across my screen as best I can, and let go. So here we go. We have a nice sort of vector, or we don't have a vector yet, but bitmap image of a house icon. Next, I'm going to convert this into a vector. To convert it into a vector, we go underneath the pop-up window, and if your windows are all messed up here, and mine are kind of messed up right now, again, you can always go under Window, Workspace, Reset Essentials. I do the same thing inside of Photoshop often all the time, and it kind of resets the windows back. So the first pop-up window I'm going to bring up is going to be the and I don't know why everything has to be so far away. Is going to be the image trace option. So if I go under Window, I'm going to go and pop up something called Image Trace right here. So I'm going to choose Image Trace, and which is the Image Trace option. And I'm going to go and I'm going to make sure it says black and white. And under the advanced setting, I'm going to twirl the little triangle down there, and I'm going to choose ignore white, and then I'm going to hit trace. What that's done, and you can't really tell it's done anything, but what it did was it converted the artwork into a vector, which just means it's an object instead of pixels. Like when you take a screen grab, it makes it into pixels. Now it's vector. So in this case, I'm going to go and I'm going to work with the vectors that are in here. So you need to sort of it's kind of grouped together right now. You need to kind of ungroup it a little bit, or not really ungroup, but do what's called expand. To expand, it's under Object, Expand. And if I click under Object, Expand, it's going to convert it into an object that has a fill. That's what I want to do. I'm going to hit OK. Now it's an object I can work with, and I can move it around. And now this is something that we can make an icon out of. Maybe we'll stretch it a little bit higher. I'm going to exaggerate it a little bit. I'm going to try and make it. So notice as I put again, I'm using the move tool here. I'm going to stretch it just a little higher here. There we go. We're going to exaggerate it a little bit. That's not too bad. And maybe, yeah, that's okay. Just like it is. So this is fine for the selected version. Okay. For the selected version, I want something that looks kind of like this, which I think will look fine. So I might just save this as it is right now and call it the selected version. Maybe center it a little bit better. if I can. I'm using the arrow keys on the keyboard. You can use the arrow keys on the keyboard to try and move things around, but that looks pretty centered to me. So I'm going to go and save that. I'm going to save this as the selected version, right? The selected version was kind of the dark one, right? Where was our example that we were looking at? Oh, it's still open inside of Illustrator. Here they are. So here's the non-selected, and then here is the selected version. So, oh, the selected one's kind of big and bold. So this, let's say this one is non-selected. Non-selected. So this would be the off one, and then this one is off. So this one's white with the black in the middle, and then this one is kind of bold and black with white in the middle. Yeah. So again, I'm thinking out loud here which one is which, and at this point I'm thinking this is going to be the non-selected one. This will be kind of a grayish floating one. So let's save that. Let's see what it looks like afterward. We put it in Xcode, and we can then change it if we need to. So let's save this one. Go under File, Save As, and I'm not going to use the Illustrator. Well, let's just go and save it somewhere. Where am I saving it? I'm just going to put it on the desktop for now. So let's call this, this is going to be home icon. And I'm going to save it as Illustrator first. And hit OK. And then I'm going to save it one more time as a PDF, because the PDF is the one that you would bring into Xcode. So again, I'm going to change the format under the Save As a PDF. And I'm going to turn off the Preserve Illustrator editing capabilities. It makes it smaller and a more efficient PDF, and save on file size. But you won't be able to open this PDF and edit it in Illustrator. But you already have the Illustrator file to fix it anyway. So I'm going to turn this one off, and then I'm going to hit Save, and yes, and I saved it. Okay, let's make the selected version. So here's how I'm going to do that, and it's going to be kind of tricky maybe for some of you, but we'll see. Again, I'm going to make this round rectangle that you see here with the edges that are like this. So I'm going to make a rectangle, or square that is, and then I'm going to cut that house through it. I'll show you what I mean. So here we go. We got a nice house right here, and I'm going to make a rectangle over top of it. Then I'm going to rearrange them, and then I will cut a hole through the rectangle with this house. So here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use the rectangle tool, and they do have a rectangle tool right here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down in the toolbar. I'm going to put my cursor in the upper left corner, and I'm just going to click and drag all the way to the lower. Oh, I didn't make it all the way there. My mouse got it kind of crazy. If you make a mistake, you go under Edit, Undo Rectangle, and we'll try again. Okay, let's see. I know it's hard to draw with a hockey puck in your hand, but let's see. Okay, there it is. Boom. So we got a big black rectangle. If yours is not black, this is the color swatch right here. You just double click on it, and you can then change it to black right there. Okay, so it's not a round rectangle though. It's still kind of square, but I would like it to make it a round rectangle. You'll notice once you make a rectangle, you'll see these little circles in the upper corner over here, and these circles right here allow you to bring in the edges. So if you look real close, there is a circle up here. If I click with my left mouse and drag that, you'll see it brings in, it makes an oval kind of edge, and you'll notice I made the edge kind of like the example from Apple. So again, I'm going to make some round edges. I'm exaggerating a little bit here, but some round edges by bringing this little circle in right there. Okay, 2 more steps. One is I need to take this rectangle, and I know you can't see the house in there. I know because they're both black, but this is also over top of the house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and what I mean by that is when you make objects inside of Illustrator, you make objects that are like, you know, pieces of paper. So this is like I have a white or a black piece of paper over top of another piece of paper that is in the shape of a house. So I want to move this behind it. So to move this rectangle behind, I'm going to go back to the selection tool, but to move this behind, I'm going to go underneath where it says Object Arrange, and I'm going to say Send to Back. That'll take this object that I have selected, this rectangle I have selected, and send it to behind this one. So I'm going to Send to Back. It didn't, you can't tell anything has happened, but what it did was it took this black piece of paper and put it behind the black house. Next, I'm going to select both of them, and I'm going to close this image trace because I'm done with it right now. I'm going to select both of them by hitting Command A on the keyboard. That selects all. So again, I'm selecting the house that you can't really see because it's black on top of a black piece of paper. Command A or Control A on Windows. So it selects both the house and the shape here. Then I'm going to go underneath Windows, and I'm going to go to the Pathfinder option. Windows Pathfinder. Pathfinder is a very useful tool in that it uses vector shapes to do things like cut holes in something. So what I want to do is I'm going to cut a hole through this round rectangle with the shape of the house. And so to do that, we're going to use the one that says minus front. Minus front. It's the second option under shapes here. Minus front. And if I click on that, boom. What it did was it took that shape of that house and cut a hole through that. And so this is the one I'm going to save as my selected one. So I'm going to go now and save it as selected by going under File, Save As, and I'm going to call this. So let's first save as Illustrator in case we have to come back and fix it, which we might have to. This is going to be Home Selected. So let's save it as an Illustrator file, and then next I'm going to save it as a PDF by going under File, Save As, and we'll change it to a PDF file. And hit Save there. And then again, I'm going to turn off Preserve Illustrator Editing Capabilities. That'll make the file smaller. And we're going to hit OK. So that's the kind of, hopefully we'll see. So let's go back to Xcode and bring these in and see what it looks like. And see if this would be a good icon for our tabbed menu. So I'm going to hide Illustrator here for a minute. I'm going to hide this. I'm going to hide Firefox, and I'm going to go back to Xcode. Let me find my icons here so I can drag them. Again, the PDFs. I'm going to put them in the corner here so I can easily drag them into Xcode. So let's go back to our Xcode here. Let me move the window around. So again, I'm going to put them into the Assets window, like where the other ones are located here. So I'm going to drag them both into the Assets window. So now I should have a Home selected and a Home. Uh-oh, I don't know why they're not showing up. I can see them here, but why? I mean, you see the other ones just fine. Wonder why. I mean, it shows them here. That's okay. Let's not stress about that. Let's go and put them in. Let's see what they look like. So I'm going to go back to the main menu, main storyboard here. And let's just zoom in here on the Home button here. And let's go to the red one. We'll assume red is the home button or the home screen that we're going to build here. And so let's go and click on the red here. We're going to get rid of this red icon here. And I'm going to go over here to the properties here for that. Let me click on it again. Oh, it's not letting me select it, huh? I'm going to click on it here. Oh, attributes. No? Yeah, attributes. I'm sorry. Click on the tab bar here and go to the attributes option here. And where it says selected image, let's choose our home selected. Ooh, size is a little big, so size does matter. See, I made a mistake. Size does matter. Okay, so we should have made it the same size as the other one. Hey, but we can go back and fix that. And then, of course, it wouldn't be red. We'd call that home. And then for the other image, we're going to choose the one that's regular, which would be the home one. And so let's see what that would look like. It's a little too big right there. I don't think I can change the size. So we probably should have made it the right size. I did not know that it wouldn't fit. I thought it would scale it to fit inside that window. So let's go make it the same size as the other one so that we fix it, and we will come back to Xcode here and replace them. So let's go and make it the same size. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the B one. So this is the one of the B ones, and so let's go under artboard, and it will tell me what size this artboard is. New artboard options. It's showing me in inches. Okay, so that's not doing me any good. I'm trying to see what the size is of the current one that we got from Xcode. So I'm going to go under Illustrator Preferences. Let me go to General. Oh, and let me change the units to, it says pixels there. Pixels. I guess we can measure it with the rulers. Let's go under Rulers, Show Rulers. Oh, it's in inches. Is there a way I can get to Guides and General? Hold on, I'm trying to find the, so that I can measure this in inches. It says pixels here for measurement, doesn't it? Okay, well, how about this? No, I really want to know what size it is. Hold on. I just clicked in the ruler and I changed it to pixels. Hey, that worked. So again, what we're looking at here is it says it's 28 pixels by 28 pixels. So it looks like we should make our icon 28 pixels by 28 pixels. So I thought it would scale down there, but it didn't. So let's go and I'm going to open those two Illustrator files up and make them 28 pixels by 28 pixels. How about that? And or let's make a new one. How about that? Here's what we'll do. We'll go under File, New, and we'll make, instead of 120, we're going to do 28 pixels by 28 pixels. 28 pixels by 28 pixels. Hit Create. Makes a new blank one. Then what we'll do is we'll bring that Illustrator file into here and scale it to fit the window. And then we'll replace it. So we'll go under File, Place, File, Place. And let's choose our selected one first. And let's draw it into this window. There we go. And then let's resave it. So we're going to go under File, Save As. And I'm going to replace the PDF of the selected one. So that would be Home Selected PDF. Home Selected PDF. So let's replace that. Replace that. Replace that. Okay, and let's then do that again. Again, I'm going to make a new file. That's 28 pixels by 28 pixels. Create. And then let's place that other one in here, the regular home. So let's go under File, Place. Let's choose our home Illustrator file. And let me zoom out just a hair here so I got the whole box here. And I'm going to draw that inside there. So again, I'm just placing the original Illustrator file into this one. And let's save that as a PDF. So this would be regular one. So this would be Home PDF. Home PDF. Oh, where's it? Home PDF. Home PDF. Let's replace it. Replace it. Okay, so I should have originally made it 28 pixels by 28 pixels, but hey, you learn from your mistakes. Okay, let's hide Illustrator and let's go back here. So I'm going to go back to my assets window, and I'm going to have to bring those back in. So I'm going to delete them from here. You can just hit delete on the keyboard, and then bring them back in. And let's see what they look like now inside of the main storyboard. There we go. Now it looks like a normal home button, as you can see down here. I don't know why it looks so pixelated there. Well, the other one looks pixelated as well. So again, I deleted the first ones I had in there, and then I put the new ones that I put 28 by 28 pixels. And since we've already programmed them, again, where did we program them? We programmed them by clicking on the bar here and then going over here to the selected image, and I changed the title there and then the regular one there. So let's go see what it looks like when we preview. And we'll see what our menu items look like here in inside of the simulator. There we go. You have beautiful home button. You can see it right here. It's blue. It's blue because it's in the tab bar. I think we can actually change the colors of these. Right now, it's default over here. I think you're able to go and change the color. And then let's go to another one. See, the home button here is just a nice gray one. See how it's just a grayed out one when it's not selected. And then when it's selected, it's blue. See that? So again, that's how you can make a custom icon. Looks pretty good. We will do that for our next app.